This is my 2017 Nissan Titan XD with the Cummins. I've purchased it brand new. Still the best truck I've owned, but it has not come without a few challenges. Let me show you guys what it took, the mods that it took to keep this truck on the road and off the wrecker. So here on the dash, we are sitting right at 152,342. So the first issue I had came within 20,000 miles. It was a DEF system error message that came up on the dash. See dealer, reduce speed in X amount of miles. So when I got this, I went through the forums and tried to research and find if there was anything that I can do before bringing it to the dealer. And a few people gave me a tip to go underneath where the DEF tank is located and to actually beat on the side of it. So there is a sensor here that apparently, as you fill, air bubbles kind of get stuck to the sensor and throws that code. So I took a mallet, beat on the side, and I guess after the first couple of hours of driving, the light went off. Problem solved. But it came back. So after taking it to the dealer decides to change the DEF tank sensor and the injection pump for the DEF fluid. Helped for a little while, but I think I got 2 tanks out of it and that came right back. So I said, you know what? This truck's not going to leave me on the side of the road, stranded, reduced to 5 miles per hour with my family somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So I looked into the next thing, and that was removing it, getting rid of that DEF altogether. So I went to a local shop and I purchased the EasyLink system, and it came with the one that I purchased, just a single tune, and I got the 40 horsepower tow tune. I wanted something that wasn't going to stress the engine out too much, keep kind of close to factory specs, but would just tune out the DPF. So after installing that, they include a straight pipe that you put in place of the DPF. On top of the tune, you're going to unplug various sensors. You can see up there wrapped up in bags, zip tied, kind of keeping those out the weather. But so they include the pipe that goes from there all the way to there, and it's 1, 2, 3 clamps, and that basically bypasses that DPF and no more DEF issues. The second issue I had came from this guy. This is your lift pump, also your fuel water separator. Now, at around 50,000 miles, I noticed that this whole housing was coated with diesel. So I had a leak somewhere. I thought it was the filter. Changing the filter did not help. I found that actually at the top of this fuel pump, you can separate by a few screws, and there's a series of O-rings that are inside of there that can be replaced. Fellow gentleman on a Titan XD page on Facebook provided me with the correct sizes. We've actually went through and increased the O-ring sizes, and I have not had a problem since after changing all of those O-rings. This is the original lift pump, 152,000 miles, and that has fixed that problem. I have not had an issue since. So that was problem number 2. So after installing the tune, removing the DPF and solving my issue with the lift pump, the leakage on the lift pump, the O-rings. This truck has pretty much given me, I would say, 140,000 miles, trouble-free miles, towing my fifth wheel RV throughout the country. We've been to Louisiana, from Louisiana to the Keys, from here to the Grand Canyon and back, from here to Yellowstone and back. We also have a trip coming up that we're planning now to Sequoia National Park in California, that we're going to do this year. And sitting at 152, yes, I'm taking the Titan. But at 140, I decided to remove the EGR under the hood. I had a feeling that that was going to be my next issue. The EGR, which would be sitting here, they include the new intercooler pipe, 2 boots. You also have this fitting that redirects the water back into the coolant reservoir, and also, if you can see back here, a plug that blocks that inlet. You also have the new down pipe that redirects your exhaust. And you're not going to be able to see it, but inside of here there is a block plate back up in there that blocks the exhaust. And I did that as a precaution. I had a feeling that that EGR was going to start leaking and possibly even be catastrophic somewhere along the line, so I decided at 140,000 miles to just remove it and get rid of that. Currently, I'm starting to have an issue with this coolant tank. Since I'm right here, this sensor that plugs into the bottom, I think, is going out on me. So after unscrewing it and just dropping it down, that light on the dash kind of went away. You can't purchase that sensor alone. You have to replace the whole coolant tank. That will probably be my next purchase. Let me go ahead and give you guys a clip of the exhaust, what it sounds like after removing that DPF and all that other junk. My next mod actually is going to be a headache rack that I'm going to run my exhaust through, so it won't no longer come out of this pipe. I'm actually going to come up through the bed, and I'm going to have a headache rack. So this is what me and my brother fabbed up. It is 14 gauge 4x4 steel tubing. It basically follows the contour of the sides of the cab and the top. The hollow space here, I'm going to make a square hollow part out of flat bar so my brake light will come through, and it also has cab lights that illuminate the back of my bed. I think I'm going to actually add a light bar on top as well. But here at the bottom, this will be the entrance of the exhaust through the back of the bed. So you won't notice unless you look up top, but that is where my exhaust will be directed, up and out versus out the side here in between the fifth wheel and the cab, a grill or ice chest or bicycles or whatnot. Try to prevent that from rolling and hitting the glass. So that's something that I'm working on, and I'll post a video on that. So if aside from those couple of mods that I had to do, this truck has been fantastic. It has towed my 10,000 pound fifth wheel camper up and down mountains, through the desert, and carried the family in comfort. Man, this truck rides more like a half ton than 3/4 ton. So if this is something that that you guys are interested in, if there's a Titan you got in mind with the Cummins, I wouldn't shy away from it. All platforms have their issues, and if you're able to turn a wrench and do a few mods to the truck, it can be reliable. It's been fantastic. Just make sure you keep up with your maintenance, filters, and use quality oil, quality products. Yeah, this truck will last you a while. I have 152 right now, and I'm hoping it'll get me well over 2. We'll see. I appreciate you guys watching, man. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you.